Between floors, the elevator lurched to a stop between the 12th and 13th floors, and Marcus Chen's first thought was that he was going to miss his daughter's recital. "No, no, no," he muttered, jabbing the emergency button repeatedly. His janitorial cart rattled beside him, the wheels squeaking in protest. He checked his phone, 6:47 p.m. The recital started at 7:30, and he still needed to get across town, change out of his uniform, and that's not going to help. Marcus turned to find he wasn't alone. A woman in an immaculate charcoal suit stood in the corner he hadn't noticed before, her arms crossed, her expression somewhere between annoyed and resigned. She had the kind of presence that suggested she was used to being the most important person in any room or elevator. "The button," she clarified, gesturing with one manicured hand. "Pressing it 40 times won't make anyone arrive faster." "Right," Marcus said, forcing himself to stop. He pressed it once more, officially, and picked up the emergency phone. "Dead, of course." The woman sighed and pulled out her cell phone, frowning at the screen. "No signal." "Yeah, these older buildings." Marcus trailed off, looking up at the ceiling panels. "The emergency system should alert building security automatically. Someone will come." "When?" She checked an elegant watch that probably cost more than his car. "I have a dinner meeting in 45 minutes. I have my daughter's dance recital in 43 minutes, Marcus countered. Their eyes met, and for a moment, something like mutual understanding passed between them. Then the woman's expression shuttered again, and she moved to the opposite corner, as far from Marcus and his cart as the small space allowed. The silence stretched. Marcus tried to calculate whether there was any possible way he'd make it on time, even if they got out in the next 10 minutes. "How old is your daughter?" He looked up, surprised. The woman was still looking at her phone, but her voice had softened slightly. 7. Her name's Lily. It's her first real recital. Not just the class thing, but like on a stage with lights and everything. He couldn't keep the pride from his voice. She's been practicing for 2 months. The woman's lips curved in what might have been the ghost of a smile. "What's she performing?" "Ballet. Part of the Nutcracker." "She's a mouse." Marcus laughed. She was disappointed at first. She wanted to be a snowflake, but then she found out the mice get to fight the toy soldiers, and now she thinks it's the best role ever. This time the woman did smile properly. It transformed her face, softening the sharp executive edges. "Smart kid. The mice are clearly the most interesting characters." "Right? That's what I told her." Marcus leaned against the elevator wall, some of his anxiety easing. "I'm Marcus, by the way. Victoria." She hesitated, then added, "Victoria Ashford." The name tickled something in Marcus's memory. "Wait, Ashford like Ashford Technologies? This building?" "My father's building, technically." Victoria's expression turned wry. "Well, his company's building, which amounts to the same thing." Marcus glanced down at his janitor's uniform, suddenly conscious of the coffee stain on his sleeve and the wear on his boots. He'd been cleaning offices in this building for 3 years and had never run into anyone from the Ashford family. They occupied the top 3 floors, a world apart from the offices he cleaned after hours. "So you're missing a dinner meeting," he said, trying to move past the awkwardness. "Important?" Victoria's jaw tightened. "Merger negotiation. 8 months of work potentially going down the drain because I'm stuck in an elevator." She caught herself, shook her head. "Sorry, I'm sure your daughter's recital is more important. I wasn't going to say that." "No?" She looked at him directly, curious now. "I was going to say they both matter. To us. That's what makes them important." Marcus shrugged. "Though I got to admit, I'd rather be at a dance recital than a business dinner." "So would I, honestly." The admission seemed to surprise Victoria as much as it surprised Marcus. She slid down the wall to sit on the floor, her expensive suit forgotten. "I used to dance. Before business school, before the company, before all of this." Marcus joined her on the floor, keeping a respectful distance. "What kind of dance?" "Contemporary, mostly. Some ballet." Victoria's eyes had gone distant, remembering. "I was pretty good. Got into Juilliard, actually. That's incredible. I didn't go." She said it flatly, a fact stated without emotion. "My father had a heart attack my senior year of high school. Mild one, but enough to scare him. He needed someone to start learning the business, and my older brother was—" She stopped. "Well, I was the responsible one." Marcus thought about his own choices, the accounting degree he'd abandoned after Lily's mother left, the way single parenthood had rearranged all his priorities. Do you regret it? Victoria considered this, really considered it, in a way that suggested no one had asked her before. I don't know. I'm good at what I do. The company has tripled in value since I took over operations. We employ 3,000 people, that matters. But sometimes I wonder what the other version of my life would have looked like. She glanced at him. You get that, don't you? I can see it in your face. Marcus nodded slowly. I was studying accounting, had a job lined up at a firm downtown, nothing fancy but good. Then Lily came along, and her mom decided motherhood wasn't for her, and... He gestured at his uniform. Accounting internships don't really accommodate single-parent schedules. Janitorial work does. Evening shifts mean I'm there when Lily gets home from school, help with homework, make dinner. You gave up your career for her. I changed it, Marcus corrected. I'm still going to finish my degree, online. Classes, bit by bit. Lily starts 3rd grade next year, and she's already more independent. In a few years, maybe I can shift back. He smiled. Besides, she's only going to be 7 once. Only going to have her first real recital once. I wouldn't trade being there for those things for any job. Victoria was quiet for a long moment. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her. Marcus checked his phone again, 7:03. His stomach knotted. Though right now I'd feel luckier if we could get out of here. As if on cue, a crackling sound came from the emergency speaker they'd both forgotten about. Hello? Anyone in there? A tinny voice echoed through the small space. Victoria was on her feet instantly. Yes, we've been stuck for over 15 minutes. Sorry about that, folks. We had a power fluctuation that affected the elevator system. We're resetting now, but it's going to take another 20 minutes or so to safely get you moving. 20 minutes. Marcus did the math. Even in the best-case scenario, he'd miss at least half of Lily's performance. Isn't there a faster way? Victoria demanded. Can't you manually open the doors? Not between floors, ma'am. Safety protocols. We'll have you out as quick as we can. The speaker clicked off. Victoria turned to Marcus, saw his face, and her own frustration seemed to evaporate. I'm sorry. Not your fault. Marcus tried to smile and failed. He pulled out his phone, typed a message to his neighbor, Mrs. Chen, who'd agreed to get Lily to the recital. Stuck in elevator. Going to be late. Tell Lily I love her, and she's going to be amazing. The 3 dots appeared immediately. Mrs. Chen replied, Don't worry. I'll record everything. She knows you're trying. Can I see a picture? Victoria asked quietly. Marcus looked up, surprised again. But Victoria had settled back down on the floor, and there was something genuine in her expression, so he scrolled through his photos and found one from last week, Lily in her mouse costume. Mid-leap, grinning so wide her missing front tooth was clearly visible. Victoria's face softened completely. She's beautiful. And that costume is amazing. She helped design it. Insisted the mouse needed sparkles. Marcus felt his throat tighten. She's going to be so disappointed. You'll be there for the next one. That's not the same. No, Victoria agreed. It's not. She was quiet for a moment, then my father missed my Juilliard audition. Important meeting in Tokyo, couldn't reschedule. My mother recorded it, and he watched it on the plane, but... She shrugged. It wasn't the same. Did you tell him that I was hurt? No, I understood. Business is business. But her voice carried an old ache, never quite healed. Victoria, Marcus said carefully, you know that's why you're so angry about missing this dinner meeting, right? Not because the merger matters so much. Because you've been taught that showing up for the important things means sacrificing the human ones. She stared at him. You got all that from 20 minutes in an elevator? I got that from the way you said business is business, like it's supposed to explain everything. Marcus leaned his head back against the wall. My daughter asked me last week why her mom left. You know what I didn't say? Business is business. I told her the truth, that sometimes people make choices that hurt the people they love, and it's not okay, but it happens, and the people who stay have to love harder to make up for it. Victoria's eyes were bright. That's a good answer. I'm terrified I'm screwing it all up, Marcus admitted, every day. But I show up. That's all I know how to do. It's more than a lot of people manage. Victoria wiped her eyes quickly, professionally. Then she did something unexpected. She laughed. God, this is the weirdest networking event I've ever attended. Marcus grinned. Yeah, the venue leaves something to be desired. They sat in companionable silence for a while. Marcus found himself studying Victoria, not the executive armor, but the person underneath. The way she'd unconsciously started tapping out a rhythm with her fingers, some dance pattern remembered by muscle and bone. The crack in her composure that revealed someone who'd given up her dreams so thoroughly she'd almost forgotten they existed. "Can I ask you something?" Victoria said suddenly. "Shoot. Do you like it, the janitorial work?" Marcus considered. "I don't hate it. It's honest work, and there's something satisfying about leaving a space cleaner than you found it. Plus, the night shift means I mostly work alone, which suits me. But would I do it if I had other options that paid the same and gave me the same schedule flexibility? Probably not. What would you do? Finish my degree? Work in non-profit accounting, maybe? Help organizations that actually make a difference with their money?" He smiled. "What about you? If you could do anything?" "Dance," Victoria said immediately, then looked startled at her own certainty. "Or, I don't know. Maybe teach it. Maybe choreograph." She shook her head. "It's a fantasy. I'm 36 years old. That ship has sailed. So teach, choreograph. You don't have to be 22 to do those things. I run a tech company. So, do both. Or, radical thought, hire someone else to run the company." Marcus held up his hands when she started to protest. "I'm just saying you've spent 15 years doing what your father needed. Maybe it's time to figure out what Victoria needs." The elevator shuddered, and they both tensed. Then, with a mechanical groan, it started moving upward. Finally, Victoria breathed. They rose in silence, both standing, unconsciously shifting back into their respective roles, executive and janitor, strangers who'd briefly shared a small space. The elevator dinged at the 13th floor and opened. Victoria stepped out, then turned back. "Marcus, yeah? I hope you make it, and if you don't..." She pulled out a business card, wrote something on the back. "That's my personal cell. Text me. I want to know how Lily does." Marcus took the card, startled. "Okay, and Marcus, thank you for the conversation. I needed it." Before he could respond, she was striding down the hallway, phone already to her ear, back in command. But she looked back once and smiled. Marcus rode down to the lobby, burst through the doors and ran for the subway. He made it to the recital at 7:52, still in his uniform, breathing hard. The performance had started, but when he slipped into the back row, Lily was just entering stage left in her mouse costume, sparkles catching the light. She saw him. Her face lit up like sunrise, and she nearly missed her cue but recovered, threw herself into the battle scene with renewed energy. Marcus watched his daughter dance and felt his chest might burst. Later that night, after Lily was asleep clutching her participation medal, Marcus pulled out Victoria's card. He started to text 3 different times, deleted each attempt, finally settled on, "She was amazing. Thank you for asking." 3 dots appeared almost immediately. "I'm so glad you made it. I was thinking about what you said. And I might have just told my father I'm cutting back to 4 days a week. I'm going to take a dance class on Fridays." Marcus smiled. "That's great, really great. It's terrifying. All the best things are." A pause then. "Would you want to get coffee sometime? I promise not to trap you in an elevator." Marcus looked at the card in his hand, thought about the woman who'd sat on an elevator floor in her expensive suit and admitted her dreams, who'd cared about his daughter's recital. "I'd like that, but fair warning, I'll probably talk about Lily a lot." "Good. I want to hear about her. Friday afternoon? There's a cafe near the building. It's a date." Marcus set down his phone, still smiling. Sometimes the universe trapped you in an elevator for 30 minutes and changed everything. He'd take it. The next morning, cleaning the 13th floor, Marcus found a note taped to the elevator control panel. "Thank you for the reminder that business isn't everything. 5. He folded it carefully and tucked it in his wallet, next to Lily's school picture. Some moments, he thought, deserved to be kept.